What is up YouTube, and welcome to a brand new series and game, KSP 2. First time playing KSP 2, purchasing it, etc. Loaded it up to make sure it loads without any issues and that it works in 4K without any lagging, but we're looking good. In terms of KSP, the original, I've got a few thousand hours in that. I am no expert, I'm certainly not Scott Manley, but I'll give it a go and I enjoy it nevertheless. I'm actually only playing this, and this season or series will be just to get used to the new game controls and the setups and the way I play. There are mods available, so I will add those and let you know what they are. Predominantly what I'm actually waiting for is the colonization pack, which is the next update that they do sometime between now and when I'm 100 years old, because they're a bit slow, even though they've charged a massive amount of money for the early access. Nevertheless, let's get into game and see what we can do with our first mission control items. Never mind, there's a cutscene. Enjoy.
Your new space program, leaping forward into the cosmos. Since the dawn of KerbalLifeSupportSystem, we have looked to the sky and wondered what sublime mysteries lie hidden in the darkness, like jewels never beheld. These untold treasures may soon reveal themselves due to the efforts recently founded KerbalSpace.
Oh my, I think that might have been the only copy of the orientation film. Hold on! Slides, somewhere. Welcome to your first day running the Kerbal Space Program. This campus hosts the greatest ever gathering of astronomers, astronauts, and engineers. After years of focused effort, this collection of geniuses has created several very impressive buildings. We believe we have all the necessary pieces to take our first steps off the ground. The best way to advance our technologies further is to get up there and learn by doing. All we need now is somebody to show us how to put all these parts together. Well, we also need somebody to help us out with the flying. We need a lot of help, actually. That's why you're here. My name is Paige, by the way. If you need any hints, feel free to visit me over at the training center. Everything in there is well padded, so it's a great place to get up and running. Welcome aboard!
Okay, so here we are in all its glory. Massive changes for the graphics. Obviously they're a lot better and you get a lot of things like clouds and stuff without scatterer. There's also, what I can see is 4 rocket launch pads, 2 or 3 runways, and even a boat launching center. Into the training center, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that. What I actually want to do is get straight into mission control, like so, and take the first quest, which is launch a rocket. Achieve an altitude of at least 10 kilometers. So then straight over to the VAB, and let's throw something together that can just go up and then fall out the sky, and that should be reasonable for that quest, I hope. Just looking at the research, you can see there's 4 tiers of research at the minute. There's, I'm sure, a lot more to come. Science is in now, so we do have to get science to unlock all of this, which is fun. Without the money though, it's not my tab. My perfect setup for this game would have the career mode, so you have the science, the money, and the colonization. That's what I'm most looking forward to. Interstellar is then an extra bonus in the years future when they get around to it. So the VAB is very similar to what it was before, though it is a lot larger. Also cool with this new one is you can have your colours. So although that looks dark blue and an orangey colour, it's supposed to be black and orange. That is the colours for the Loki Space Agency, LSA, as we are formally named. I will get a personalised flag put in, but I haven't got around to it just yet. So yeah, you can see that is set to black, but it's using dark blue. So let's just switch that. That's better. So yeah, a capsule for the actual Kerbal. A parachute to bring them down, a solid state rocket or liquid rocket, whichever one you want, just to get it, and that's the liquid rocket, or Methalox to be precise. And then some fins to allow for controllability, just to make sure it doesn't go boom into the ground too easy. All it has to do is get to 10 kilometers, nothing more, nice and simple, and we'll get those quests there. Maybe even some extra science on the launch pad or off low Kerbin orbit. First time on the launch pad, there are some visual glitches. You can see the parts kind of loading slower than, I don't know if that's just mine or if it's part of it. Again, this is the first time playing this. So I could do a crew observation report there, it takes 10 seconds. Nice as well that when they're actually doing it and they're not in there, you can see them actually talking, the same as when they do surface samples, you can see them actually collecting a surface sample. This is the countdown that is new to the game. You can't see it, it sounds like it's counting down, but I'll be skipping these in the future. But as it's the first launch, we will do it. Sound like there, but nothing too significant. Graphics looking nice. This is all in 4K. Obviously, if it becomes a problem, I can drop it down, but I don't believe it is, because by the time I'm recording this, I have played for quite a while now. Certainly for Kerbin Orbit and the mod as well. So again, this is just to get to the 10,000 kilometers, which we've just done. So that mission is now a success, and all we need to do is basically get to Apogee and return back to the Earth. Not quite sure why I did the parachute so soon there. I think I put it on the wrong staging, but it doesn't matter. We'll get that back down now and get that science in and see what better quests we've got to get some decent science. Nothing too eventful, and we're going to touch down in the ocean. Water looks nice, nice reflective. It is moving, though it didn't look like it was when I first came in, but that just must be the skin loading. 5.9 meters a second is perfectly acceptable, I think, for landing in the water. And there we go. Can I get out and get a bit more science? It looks like I can. I'm going to turn that page thing off because it's annoying. Yes. Got some science there. 32 in total, it says, I believe. And then we get the science from the quest as well. 32 science indeed was correct. So we'll get the next level item, unlock that, get it researched. Again, this is just science we're using. There is no money involved at all. We can get an extra thing, but I don't actually really know what I want, to be honest. So let's actually just look at building a rocket and see what's missing before we waste points, unless there's any science stuff, which there is. So scratch that, I'll get that. That leaves us 12 points, and we can now go and get even more science. So here we go again. This is the same rocket, but with the science experiment bay attached. Science Junior, as it's called. Just to see if we can get a bit more out of it. Exactly the same process, nothing special. Get it up there, and wherever we land, hopefully it'll be somewhere different in terms of biomes, like the ocean, and then we'll get more science from there too. Right, well, successfully landed in a different biome, but as you saw, the science junior that was at the bottom exploded. So clearly not good for landing on there. But we can get out of the vessel and do a service sample. So you'll see the little curve in there. Wait, which way are you facing? That's it. Do a service sample. That was observation, and then we do the service sample. You can see you get a little test tube out and get a sample of the Earth, and that will give us a little bit more science as well. Wunderbar. I'll plant a flag just because it'll be the first flag I've ever planted in KSP 2. The second will be on the moon. The first is home-ish. Yeah, why not? So what we have to do is climb back in and recover vessel, and we're good to go. Okay, 50 points now in tow. I've still not collected the mission, unfortunately, because I'm an idiot and I forget to do that part. But never mind. Managed to get probes there, solid fuel boosters. Industry construction. I don't think I get that one. I do. I'm a liar. Anyway, aerodynamics and stability I get as well. So that's a few new bits and bobs now to allow us to build larger ships. Most of the time, the way I go, the ones that I build are the... they're not called gherkins, can't remember. Asparagus, there you go. I do the asparagus builds. Now, there are fuel pipes, but they're way down the research, so it doesn't quite work like a normal asparagus where you move all the fuel to the center and keep that center stage maxed out, capped out with fuel, but it still can work anyway. Just throwing together now a nice simple rocket with a few extra parts for extra range, including some solar panels hopefully, and a battery, extra battery. Science Junior as well to make sure we get that Miss Science, and certainly some parachutes. The idea here is to get out of the Earth's orbit, so we actually get to space. Not into an actual orbit, full orbit though, and then I think it's called an eccentric orbit, so then we come back to the planet and it's just a science collection type of rocket. Nice and simple. Hopefully it works. So yeah, another launch. Speeding up the launches because everybody's seen everybody do launches, and I'm sure you'll get bored of them unless there's something specific to happen. I'll just get this until we actually get to that milestone that is space itself. And there we go, 70,000 meters, which as far as I'm aware, same as KSP 1, is space. So we're now in space. We can do a bit of science. Luckily, the test tube thing on the left-hand side there on your instruments shows you that there is science to gain. It does tell you to get out if you need to get out. But certainly an environmental sample there, sample-wise, is good. Samples, and all of the samples have to be returned to the KSC, yes, to count. If they are destroyed and you don't return them, then obviously you won't get the science. All we need to now do is remain in retrograde to allow us to re-enter. We don't have the heat shields yet, so this may or may not go well. We will need to include them because although I've got it on normal, I believe we did the settings on. So there is quite a lot of heat. I think it's 50% or 70%. I might turn it up to 70%. But yeah, you can see the heat building up there now on the Science Junior. Just hope that survives. Proc the parachute because we're under the 10,000 meter mark. And that should auto open. I think at 1,000 it's set for by default. Coming in hot, slowing it down nicely. Keep it nice and slow for that last few hundred meters just to make sure nothing too catastrophic happens with the loading of it. The nice splash down there, and of course that didn't damage the Science Junior. So we get that 35 science from the samples, 5 science data from there. There is some extra science to gather outside because I'm assuming this is a new ocean biome. So we will click all of those buttons. There's no service sample. Can we get a crew report? Is he chatting to himself? I don't even know if he knows. Might have to actually get into the water to do that, but there's only certain risks I'm willing to take. But for now, we can return this vessel and get back to the KSC. Successful there, coming back with 100 science now in total in the bank, so we can learn survivability first. We'll then go for lights and utilities. I like flashing lights just for the sake of it. I don't really think I use them for the thing you're supposed to. Struts to stop the stuff from wobbling about, especially with the asparagus builds. Orbital rocketry, and the idea here is that we should almost have, if we haven't already got enough to get us now, which is our next step, into a low orbit. 80 to 100,000 meters all around. We'll see. Okay, so here we go again. Speeding it up. I think it's 10 times or so, so it should be pretty quick for you. Now, we're not going to get a perfect orbit here. Don't expect it. I kind of fudge it through as best I can. I also like using MechJeb. I enjoy more of the exploration than I do the actual rocket science of the Delta V, etc. But nevertheless, we need to get an orbit so we can get that. Now, I've pushed that out on this lower end is far too low, but you're wasting a lot of energy and a lot of Delta V by trying to push. You go normal, the burn normal to push that out. So as we are staying in orbit, I can wait until we get right down to the periapsis and push it out there. That will, of course, make the periapsis up to 150, which is put it now both within the realm of an orbit. Whether it's an orbit that's enough for the quest, I can't tell you, but it is an orbit nevertheless. So we can get some, hopefully some science from that anyway. Even if it's only like 40, I think it said. And then, of course, retrograde. Burn just enough to push us into the atmosphere. Periapsis there, 20,000, so that's easily enough to bring us down to Earth and see where we land this time. Again, we're aiming for well, I'm not actually aiming for different biomes, but it's nice when you land on different biomes because that's additional science I wasn't really expecting. Jumping ahead, it looks like we're going to land on the desert, which is nice. That's new. Right on the coast, mind, but might have to have a walk over to the sea if it's not too far away when we actually get down. And there we go. Nice touchdown. So there should be some science, and it is saying that there is, so we can get out of there, let go, and get, hopefully, at the very least, a surface sample, right, and a observation. You have to let go to do those, of course. Swagger walk. Lovely. See some starfish and a few other bits and bobs scattered there over the beach. Nice little starfish. So, surface survey and a crew observation required. And with that done, we'll take a walk to the sea. I will speed this up because I think it was a lot further than I expected. And there we go for a splash. Obviously the spacesuit, so it's not really do anything. Have a nice swim. And this is the achievements made, or the new investments made to KSP 2. Where the water side is actually a thing now. Trying to get a water sample, but it doesn't work. It just says that there's one already in there, so I'm not sure that's an option. Or if it's that you can just only carry physically one at a time. Maybe not multiple test tubes. Full on diving, 100% effort there by the Kerbal to get as much as they can. Have a swim out. And then basically just make our way back to the pod and get it recovered. And there we are back at the KSC, and we got 100 science total from that. Just having a look at the few, this is where I look around now because you can scroll with the mouse. There is a huge, much larger than the original. You only had one launch pad on the original, this now has 4. Plenty of runways, a boat launching site, and then the standard buildings that we had previously anyway. So with that newfound research, we have 105, and I'm going to get reaction control straight away. That's 50, so half of it gone. We still have 55 to go. The reaction control will give us a bit. Well, it's a gate towards the better stuff and the mono-repellent stuff for the larger ships that we're making. So things that we want to use to go between planets, sort of after the Mun to Mimus, and they're further out. You want better control using the mono-propellant. Orbit Corbin did not count because you had to be within 370 kilometers, so I'll have to do that one again. 75 sites. It's not massive, but it's certainly, we got to do that anyway, and we're going to do that anyway, so it can't hurt to try that one again. And the next launch, same rocket, just with a few tweaks to the aerodynamics, the fins, and we're looking a lot better now. Plenty of Delta V. I just need to get a decent orbit here. And by decent, I mean sort of 80 by 80 will easily do it. It has to be above 70, and there we go. And less than 300. So that's that done. That quest is done. That's 75 science. And we can pretty much bring this ship straight back down. It has no other purpose. The purpose was to complete that quest correctly, unlike the launch before. Just to show you, we brought that down safely. I did have a quick view of the other planets. I'll stick them on the end of this episode, but this episode is coming to a close now. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and KSP2, please do make sure to let me know in the comments and with the likes, and I will certainly do more episodes of this. I have more recorded, and I do like playing this game. So let me know if you want to see more. I'll try and get at least 2 out a week to allow me to do the other videos as well. But thank you very much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.